This is our first legit podcast. How does Ellesha feel about you working with beautiful female clients?
I get this question so many times.
How did you guys meet?
Jackson was the popular guy.
No, I wasn't.
And you were in like the popular group.
What do you think about the fat acceptance movement? Oh, got to be careful with what I say about this. Little tip for you. You can't tell your wife that you want her to do Pilates or gym or lose weight or anything because you're in the doghouse. You're fucked. And then she's going to push against it. Ellesha at times would actually just like go and buy a bag of chocolate and be like, what the fuck did you say, motherfucker? Like, she's like, this is the most important bit, or one of the most important bits. Obviously sleep, I could go on all day. It could be an hour podcast about this, but you want to focus on getting as strong as possible or maintaining as much strength as possible while losing fat.
I'm not blaming it all on social media, but these days there was a girl I used to look up to all the time, Sierra Sky, and I only found out recently that she's got a BBL.
All right. This is our first legit podcast. We've done a few like live Q&As back in the day together, but since Booty by Jax has really grown, like this is the first legitimate. We're in, look at this, we're in a fucking studio and shit.
Oh, it's pretty nice.
I know.
It's very bougie.
Yeah, we got a sick little studio, different vibes than the reaction videos that I do and that we will be doing in the future. And basically this is just something that we thought, I've got the main reaction videos. I'm obviously the one doing those because if I was reacting to them and Ellesha was just standing there like doing the thumbs up or whatever, it'd be a bit strange, but we wanted something really casual. And I think Ellesha just loves the more casual. Like, I'm happy to do the more intense, like my opinion on things or education and fitness. And Ellesha's not actually a certified personal trainer. I've just dragged her into this over the last 12 years of being together. But the funny thing is she knows like more than some trainers I know. Like she can pull up, she pulls up on a lot of the bullshit online as well. But yeah, this is our first potty, and it's exciting. It's new to us. And how are you feeling?
Good.
Good. All right.
Ready to go.
We had to get a coffee on the way. Ellesha needs a coffee to be at my level because I'm like wake up pre-caffeinated. So I just thought I'd go over some kind of recent news and stuff that we've gone through, and probably one of the biggest ones is just like hitting that 100K on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
it happened so fast.
Well, the end of it happened really quickly, but what I went through was spending like a year and a half just trying to get to 10,000 followers, working my ass off, That was before, like, Ellesha's always been like, my partner, my wife, and keeping me alive by feeding me and making me feel loved and having a place that I can sleep and secure and whatnot. But it hasn't been until like the last 2 years, like Booty by Jax is probably year 5 now, but it wasn't until the last 2 years that Ellesha's actually been like right involved in the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for some reason I was always like, I don't want to, people always say, don't work with your partners because it can make it hard, or keep your work separate from your wives and stuff. And I kind of disagree. If it's the right business and you've been with your partner for long enough, it's like I was suffering trying to do everything, all the DMs, all the editing, all the recording, all the client check-ins, programming. Like I was just flooded. And
I think it works really well for us too because you and I are so different.
Yeah.
Like I'm the more calm, organized person, whereas it helps you focus more on just videos and reaction videos and whatnot.
My friend said something to me out in the surf the other day because he's trying to learn how to build his social media. And he's really intelligent. This is Dr. Dan. He's super educated. He's one of the best physios ever. And he's really good looking, like fucking like the Aussie fucking like surfy dude, like incredible good looking. But he's just overthinking the process, filming, and feels uncomfortable and talks really quiet on camera. And I just said, you have to just get it. And he goes, one of your biggest positive, things is I like shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah. Like I'll just get it done. For me, I'm just like, I'm just going to get it done. I'll figure it out along the way. Ellesha edits our reaction videos that I do. And I make so many fucking mistakes. If you've seen all the behind that, we should do an edit at the end of the year where you put all my fuck ups and me talking to myself before I'm filming and shit. Like, what the hell am I doing?
Twerking sometimes on the video.
Yeah, if it twerks.
Doing funny things.
Or sometimes I'll see good lighting and I'll be like, shit, boy. Because I'll like have the screen up and monitor. Anyway, so it's exciting to get to 100K, and it happened, it took me over a year to get to 10K. Remember when I had like 2,000 followers and they were all pretty much like people from friends and families and clients and people from the gym. And then I had to start making videos, so it was really uncomfortable. But then it took 2 or 3 years to get to like 20,000, and then fourth year get to 50,000. And then in 1 week, I swear it was a week.
Yeah.
That's when you were really involved, because Ellesha's doing a lot of the DMs and she's like on the Instagram and doing a lot of the back end for me. She kept saying to me in the morning, "You've gone up by like 20,000 followers overnight." And I'm like, what? Took me years to get there. So we went from about 50,000 to 100,000 in like 7 or 8 days.
Less than.
Yeah,
it was like 4 days.
And every day we didn't really like sleep that much. We're just so hyped up on. And then what happens is, as you grow, you get more clients, which is amazing, because we want to change the world. We want to help more girls.
Yep.
But it's more work.
A lot of messages,
a lot of programming, meal plan. Our nutrition team and our support team was like, the pressure was like overwhelming. And I was like, I'll just do more. Like, let's just get it done. Like, we don't have time to like hire more. Let's just get it done. And I want to keep the quality the same.
Yeah.
So that was, I'm insanely grateful. We were excited. I was talking to Ellesha when we were walking Honey, our dog for a walk. We were talking about like, hopefully we get to 100K by December like 20th or something. I always set goals like that. And I think it was 2.5 weeks later, it just went wild.
Yeah.
Just went nuts, and we got to 100K. And then we're closing in on 1 million on TikTok, which is fucking crazy. Like,
insane. TikTok's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's wild. And to think a few years ago, I said to people, "Oh no, TikTok's just for kids. I'm not going to waste my time posting content on TikTok and getting back to people on TikTok because it's just kids. People aren't going to sign up or whatever." But Instagram does actually convert more clients, but I think a lot of people do find us on TikTok and then come to Instagram, and then we create this community and we become more personal with them, seeing the stories and watching more content and whatnot. So yeah, I think we're just over 800K on TikTok, and that just kind of goes crazy here and there. It's like, it's really good. Another update, booty program. We worked alongside one of my clients of 2 years, like over 2 years now, Sophie Evans, which she has like, I call it world-class ass, like really good glutes, like amazing glutes. And she was a client that would be doing the programs I'm providing her, but then she wanted something a little bit different. She didn't really want masculine muscle growth upper body, so we'd make adjustments, and Ellesha was the same.
Yeah.
You helped me become a better coach, and you helped me make better programs for females, because I come from a bodybuilding background, powerlifting, bodybuilding, athletic background, where I was like 5 to 6 days a week, training twice a day, like crazy. Like I was all in when I was in my mid-20s. But with Ellesha, no matter how much I pushed her, you prefer to train like 2 to 3 days a week.
Yep. 2 to 3 days, get me in, get me out. If I overthink it, if I wait too long, I just won't do it.
Yeah.
That's just me.
If I try to put her through like a, for example, I would invest in the best programs online when I was younger, and then I would use those programs as motivation and make modifications to it and make my own one. And I would give Ellesha this program like on a notes file, and I was like, this is really epic. This is the best program. And it would take an hour and a half in the gym, and I was like, trust me, this is science backed. This is the best thing for you. And she would get 30 or 40 minutes in, and she'd just be like, I'm fucking out of here. Like, it's too much. Too much volume, too many exercises, too complicated, boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when Booty by Jax really took a change in direction. When I was like, I'm not training advanced female bodybuilders, because I was prepping females for WBFF and INBA, I was helping girls get into competition shape. So these girls knew that they had to be committed, and I would just say to them, you have to be in the gym for longer, you have to do that. And then I did some trial and error and realized, wait up, for most girls that are normal, just like normal people that weren't competing or weren't freak athletes or didn't have amazing genetics, they don't want to be in the gym all the time. And that's when you were like, can you do me a 3-day program that only lasts for 45 minutes each time? I want to be in and out. I don't want to fuck around.
Yep, definitely.
And then I'd try to put more volume in, and then you'd be like, no, it's too much. And that's kind of like how we came up with the first Booty by Jack's really popular program that blew up a few years ago. And then we've just made it better and better. And now we have more of like the Anna Rogers program is more of like the proper bodybuilding, because Anna has like really good quads and she wants her whole body to develop.
For people who want more quads and hammies and upper body, that's a really good one. But the new Sophie Evans one is...
It's a game changer. Like Ellesha trialed it for 4 to 5 weeks before we released it. We built it into the app. So what we do is we start on like notes, files, trial and error. I'll be with Sophie in the gym, and then I'll be with Ellesha in the gym, and we're just modifying it along the way. And I think that's really important. I think some coaches build this program on paper that looks amazing, that looks world class. And I actually seen someone comment on one of the top like female coaches online recently, and the top comment was like, hey, the training took me an hour and a half, and there was like 12 exercises just for lower body. Like, it's too much for me. And the guy messaged comment back. I won't say who it is because he's obviously a great trainer and whatnot, but he messaged back saying, you need to do this much volume to get results. This is the best way to get results. And I'm like, he's not understanding. Like, these people are reaching out saying that they're probably not going to rock up and they're going to cancel, or they're going to not use the program because it's too overwhelming. And everyone remembers the first time they went to the gym and did legs with their friend and they're fucking nearly vomiting and then they can't walk for 5 days. Like, you don't need to do that much if you're new to the gym, or if you're not like an elite athlete, or you don't have like athlete background. Like, you really don't. No. Like, less is more at the start. And because I was a personal trainer in real gyms with normal people, I wasn't just training like these big ass genetic Latino girls, like some of these American glute trainers. They just use these chicks from South America or Central America, bring them up, train them. They look amazing in 6 months. You know, they're just cruising by the pools and shit, like the beach in Miami. It's like, we don't, like in Australia, we're like just normal, everyday, basic people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the Sophie Evans, that's the program we're talking about. It's the new Booty Build program, which is the Booty Build Challenge. And Ellesha told me this one's going to do really well. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, we had the run and lift hybrid one, and I was really passionate about it because I surf and I just started Muay Thai and I want to get into running. And I thought that every other girl that followed us would be wanting to like run and everything. Like, everyone was running at the time, and I was like, let's get amongst this. And it did okay. It did good. Like, people really liked it. But Ellesha looked at me after she tried this program and said, trust me, like, this one's going to be good. So we released 100 spaces for the first intake, and that sold out within the first few days.
Yep.
Crazy. I remember our website social media manager chick who like checks numbers and makes sure the website stays up. I remember she messaged us and was like, you guys have like sold more. You've had so many more signups than you've ever had before. You've also got more clients than you've ever had before. And we're trying to get through the DMs. Everyone was like, how do we sign up? And I was like, well, the link's here. It was really good. But I'm grateful. Like, I'm so happy of the success we've had with that. And I think it comes back to me, like, listening again. I thought I go on a tangent like I am right now, where I'm like, oh, I know what's best for everyone. They're going to do what I like, which is like a hybrid athlete, you know, because I've been training in the gym for like 15 years. I've competed before and stuff. So I'm getting a bit bored of the gym. So I want to surf and run and do Muay Thai. But a lot of our followers are just like, they're just getting into the gym. You know, they're more like you.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to build a booty?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and it's super simple. It's, 45 minutes to 55 minutes. There's not that many exercises. This new booty build program or booty build challenge with Sophie Evans, people keep asking us, of course, it does have upper body in it. Mm-hmm. It does have core. It's not just like all glutes, We have a 3 and a 5 day version. And the 5 day version is 3 lower body days, 2 upper body days. And the 3 day version is full body 3 days a week. Yeah. And that's actually like Ellesha prefers to kind of do full body or like not that many days in the gym. It's just easy for her. And you've maintained and improved your physique. And that goes into the next subject, like with the program and the challenge, we try to give the option for a personalized meal plan because I think that's so important.
100%. Yeah. I always say to the clients in the messages, like, if you want the best results, our nutrition plan with your workout plan.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, like, let's talk about something a bit more personal because we've talked a lot about challenges and programs and everything, which is really cool. But let's talk about something that's probably a bit more relatable. It's like, we always share good content and whatnot, but there's been times where you haven't been happy with your body.
Yeah.
And people might scream out right now and say, oh, I wish I had her body, but you're not saying, you know, everyone is hard on themselves. And there's been times where you're like a few kilos up and a few kilos down in muscle, a few kilos up in body fat. And I don't care. Like, I love you no matter what. But the difference is you weren't happy with your body and you weren't confident and you didn't want to you didn't want to put a bikini on and come to the beach with me. And so like now it's actually affecting the relationship. So I was like, okay, you're still getting into the gym a few days a week, but I was like, how are you training? I was like, you're going to start training with me now. So I started going to the gym with her. Because we were training at home sometimes. I was really busy. I was just letting her do her thing. But I was like, I'm gonna train with you. And she's like, oh shit, like intensity does. And she was like, just giving her a bit more weight, just a little bit more weight, pushing her a little bit more. Like, have you been skipping hip thrusts? Yeah. Have you been skipping, like doing certain exercises, like getting on the Stairmaster just for 5 minutes after? But yeah, like just talk about the progress this year, like how you've went from not being as confident in your body, and just I think it's so relatable. I'm not that relatable to the female followers. Like I'm just kind of like facts and information and advice and opinion. But like talk about your journey, like, and how you changed on nutrition and your training intensity.
Yep. So I think it was at the start of the year when we were doing the 8-week challenge. We took our before photos and everything like that. And that's when I recently, after those photos, was like, nah, that's it. You know, I'm not happy. It took a little bit for me to realize that. I didn't really look at myself in the mirror much or whatsoever. And then after that, I was like, nah, something's got to change. I just want to be happy with my body. So we did that challenge, and yeah, we went through the nutrition side of things, and I really struggled because I love food. Like, I eat a lot of food. Like, I was eating more than Jackson. Like, a lot of people probably don't realize that, but I was. And we focused really on my nutrition as well, and just staying busy, I think, really helped. And that's, this year helped with Booty by Jax. I think being really busy with the business, that helped me stop eating as much as I was, and just...
Because like explain, because I think we did pause there, like explain that the reason why a lot of times you were eating as much or more than me, and I have a lot more muscle, I'm heavier, like I can burn more calories, and people can argue all they want, like, oh, everyone's at the same value. It's like, well, no, like I can be in a calorie deficit eating more calories than you. That's just science. It's just facts. But the difference is when I'm stressed or I'm busy, I eat less.
Yep.
And when you're stressed, sometimes you were like eating with your emotions, or it was a comfort food to you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of girls can either relate to me, like some that have an eating disorder or they're underweight, and then a lot of girls that are of a higher BMI or, you know, higher body fat percentage, they can probably relate to that, where you were, you know, you might not like your job, like, you know, before you were working really involved in Booty by Jax, you felt like you didn't really have a purpose.
Yeah.
And your last job, you were like, you didn't really love it anymore. So you were kind of eating for happiness, I suppose. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. And not moving.
Yeah. Being stuck, just sitting for 10 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah. I'd be lucky to get 1,000 steps a day. And I think just, going from that job just to dinner.
Yeah.
Eating and not moving enough.
The place that we used to live at, we were working so much. We were building the house that we're in now. So people don't realize that when you buy land and build, you're still paying for the rent of the place that you're at, and you're paying for the mortgage of the land and the build. And it's super stressful. And throughout that, it's like we're hitting like pasta and high fat and just like eating food in bed and chocolate. Like we're just getting by. Like it's
smoking a bit.
Yeah, smoking a bit of Mary Jane. Like, because you just like, you need an escape. Like we don't drink. You know, it's funny. Like, and I've noticed I put a little thing about, about green on my Instagram. I can't talk about it at all on TikTok because it gets flagged or something, which is understandable. There's a lot of kids on there. But like, we don't really drink alcohol, and if we were to have a beer right now on a podcast, everyone would be cool with it. And in America, like I really like on that Call Her Daddy, like she smokes joints with her guests, like anyone who smokes, they're just like having fun. And I can't wait till Australia gets there. But at this moment, it's like, you know, with all the stress going on, we don't drink alcohol. Sometimes we'd have a little smoke as our escape, our little release. And you just got to be careful. You know, I'm positive cannabis, especially because we got medical certificates and all that stuff in Australia now. But you just got to be careful. Like if people ask me this all the time, like, oh, I see that you sometimes use cannabis. How do you not just eat the whole time? It's like, you got to be prepared. And you got to understand, like, if you can't control yourself when you're on cannabis and you eat like a whole Tim Tam packet, ice cream, and then all your dinner, well, then that's not good for you. Like,
I actually had a girl in the DMs the other day ask me some advice about that. And I said to her, I find if you eat like a proper meal before you do that, like eat your dinner or eat your lunch or whatnot before you do that, I think that's a big key.
Yeah. But I always say, prepare stuff before you get high.
Yeah.
Like, because you get lazy.
Yeah.
And you're also like, all your brain is stimulated. You're like, you know, it'd be nice. Bucket of KFC, ultimate fucking whatever. Like, everything, packet food becomes so motivating and so much better. But yeah, I think the most important bit is just, instead of me, because everyone has their own idea. I want you to be the best person you can be. And because I'm a personal trainer by nature, even before I had my personal training certificate, my mum would say to me, like, I feel like you're just someone who wants to help people and you care about people and you want the best for them, but you're also, some people can't handle the truth from you because I'm very European. I have a European side of my mum's side, like Italian, French, whatever. And I'm not beating around the bush like Aussies and some people who are like talking and small chat. I'm like, this is what you fucking need. This is what you're going to hear. And I'll tell you how it is because I care about you. And when I do that to people, sometimes they get in shock. And especially with you, sometimes I'll say to you, like, this is what you need to do. Because I'm a trainer. It's hard to turn off being a trainer. But I've learned that I can't be your trainer all the time.
Yep.
I've learned now that I'll just let you do your thing. And you'll eventually come to me. And I'll go, yes, I got to. And you'll say, please help me with nutrition. Like, I'm not comfortable. I'm not happy when I look in the mirror. Yeah. Can you help me? And then I'm like, okay, then I step up. And then I can be like husband trainer. But you can't tell your wife, little tip for you. You can't tell your wife that you want her to do Pilates or gym or lose weight or anything because you're in the doghouse. You're fucked. And then she's going to push against it. Ellesha at times would actually just like go and buy a bag of chocolate and be like, what the fuck did you say, motherfucker? Like, she's like, she's like, you're not going to tell me what to do. And I love it. Like, I love that pushback. It's just, you got to wait for them to want it. And I think leading, just like when you're a parent, and I'm not trying to give any parental advice. I'm not a parent. But I do have a little puppy with my little baby girl. But like, I'm around really good parents. I was raised by a really good mum. And I think you tell your kids not to be on their iPad or not to eat certain foods. And then you're watching TV like the footy and you're eating certain food. It's like, lead by example.
Yep. And
just do your best to be reasonable and set a good example. I think that's really important. So I've always tried my best to just, motivate us to eat healthy meals. And, it's easier now because like, if we can't use our own meal plans from our app and if we can't follow simple programming and if we can't stay like healthy and in shape, then it's not a very good look for the business.
No. And I think it helps that we only keep clean food in the house.
Yeah.
No snacks whatsoever.
Yeah.
Snack is like a banana or a mandarin.
I got a little snack yesterday for us.
Oh yeah.
Little
I was
treat.
Very surprised actually.
Got a little bit of chocolate for Ellesha.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's never done that.
Well, I just don't want to, so
that's nice.
I like to leave the house and go somewhere for a treat.
Yeah.
If you're training yourself that every time you go to the shops, you have to go through those middle aisles and get 3 or 4 packets of like things that you like for snacks, you're just telling yourself, you're enabling that when you are weak, when you're stressed, when you're tired, and when you're at home, and you're like, you see them looking at you in the cupboard. It's like an addiction. You're like, just eat the little chocky. It's like we have to drive past KFC, McDonald's every day, like when we go into town, into the beach or into meetings because it's on the way home.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that smell. Yeah. The KFC goodness.
The chips.
But luckily they've been shit lately, so we don't go there very often.
Yeah.
Just to finish that off after that little rant, the second intake for the challenge is now open. So again, we're going to take about 100 spaces. We're employing a new assistant to work with us so we can take more people. So that's why we've opened it quite early. So that'll be open for a few days until it sells out. Next bit I wanted to cover before we go into the Q&A. So we've got some amazing. So we put up a thing on Instagram, a question box, and TikTok, and I put up an NGL like anonymous one as well, so people could just ask whatever they want. And we've got some amazing questions and some difficult ones, some challenging ones to answer. But this is kind of one of the questions, but something I wanted to cover. It's like, working full time together as a married couple or as a long-term couple, and how that kind of works. We mostly, our office is at home.
Yep.
And the gym that we film at sometimes is either at home in the garage. I like the reaction videos, it's just in the garage. People think I've got some crazy studio. I just have a good angle, the right lenses and everything, all the right lighting. But and then when we're not there, we're just down the road, like 7-10 minutes away at a Club Lime filming there. You know what I mean? So how does that work? And maybe Ellesha can talk about it, because I just kind of go autopilot. I just say it works because it has to work.
What do you mean?
How does it work? Like us working together, like what's the environment like? Is it enjoyable? Is it like...
Yeah, super easy. We just have the office in the house too. So got the office, the gym. Yeah, it can just go in between each one.
And I think the most important bit is we're happier in our relationship now working together than what we were working separately and not understanding why we were stressed when we get back from home. I think so many couples, and it's that late 20s, early 30s, or it's that 4, 5, 6 year couple. Well, for us, it was around that, we're coming on to 13 years together at the end of this year, or August or whatever. But it was like halfway through there around the 6th year where you're working full time on your thing, I'm working full time on my thing. And then I get home and I'm so stressed that I'm in the car park and I'm in the garage and I don't want to come in for 10 minutes because I'm just exhausted and I don't even know how to show face. And then I come in and then I haven't eaten my dinner and we don't get time to be intimate or communicate or whatever. And then it's so hard to get intimate when you haven't spent time with your partner.
Yeah.
And everyone has different love languages. But one thing that's worked for us, we are so much happier working together on the business. We have separate roles in the business. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
It doesn't overlap too much. Obviously there's certain questions you have to ask me and I still do some of the DMs and I've got people that I'm speaking to, like clients and whatnot. But a lot of the new people reaching out, you're covering that.
Yep.
But would you say that are you happier with having the role that we have previous?
Oh, 100%. I'm moving more now. We get more freedom. That was a big part of it. We're very fortunate to be able to work from home and have, that bit more freedom to, if we want to go out for lunch or take the dog for a walk or, go to the gym whenever we want to. Much more happier now for sure.
It's funny, you have more freedom, but people don't realize, I put up photos of us, from photos with our friends at the beach or, us doing something fun in the backyard with our dog, but people don't realize 7 days a week we're actually working. Yep. It's not 10 hours straight, but from the moment I wake up, I'm how do I tackle these tasks in the business? And until about 4 hours before I go to bed, I go into shut it off, turn all the devices off, chill or whatnot. But yeah, it's more freedom if you make time for it. I can go and surf, I can do my Muay Thai and do our training sessions when the gym's not too busy. But the weekend is still when we're launching programs, it's maybe 5 days straight crazy or 7 days straight, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on to the fun stuff. So the Q&As. Let's have a look. All right. This is a good one to start with. Do any of your clients have a BBL?
No.
Yeah. So this is funny. I think when you have good looking clients, when I say good looking, good shaped bodies, small waist, big glutes, you're gonna get asked these things. And the easiest way to answer is anyone that I've shared or any client that I've worked with, I've meticulously made sure, looked at them properly and made sure and watched their progress that they haven't got a BBL. And more importantly, it's pretty rare for a girl actually in Australia to have a BBL. You see some of these trainers sharing these Central American, Brazilian, Miami kind of Vegas girls and you're could be a BBL because every 5th girl when you walk around in Vegas and Miami and stuff has a BBL. They ship them up from Central America and get them done and they're models and whatnot. But I've never shared a client with a BBL. I've never let a client sign up and then share her on our stories or anything. But in saying that, if someone signs up and they go ahead on the website when we have availability and they sign up for something and they have a BBL, we don't know this. But when it comes to sharing results, I never ever share results of someone who has a BBL, or I never do anything like that. And most girls who have a BBL don't really want to work with a booty coach because they've just got the surgery. So they don't need to.
They don't need it.
All right, next one. Is protein powder necessary, especially if you're just starting out in the gym? I'll let you answer this one.
No. Get your protein from your food.
I love it. She's learning. I'll finish it off. If you can afford protein and your gut health's good and you're working really busy job and you're really struggling to get your protein in from food, of course, buy like a cheap, normal protein. Don't buy from Instagram from someone who shares their like discount code. It sounds really bad, but to be honest, you can buy that same quality product in a local store because any brand that shares stuff on social media and has like influencers, they usually mark up to be able to mark down with a discount code. So just buy off like iHerb or your local store, or if you want to support your favorite influencer, then of course you're going to do that. But I would recommend that you spend money on gym membership, good quality food, things that bring you happiness and whatnot. Like add the protein in right at the end. If you're really rich and you want to add an extra bit of protein every night as like a chocolate shake or whatever, then fair enough. Okay. Is there anything you can do to make hip dips less aggressive, working on accepting them? Yeah.
So hip dips are mostly genetic. You can never get rid of them fully, but you can create the illusion that they are more round and filled in by doing some exercises such as cable abduction.
Yeah. Cable abduction, yeah. So Ellesha nailed this, and it's funny, like she's not a certified trainer. She hasn't gone to university for biomechanics and anatomy and whatnot, but she just nailed it. It's like you can absolutely change the shape of the side of your glutes if you just build a heap of muscle around it. So I talk about this a fair bit on our reaction videos, but we'll cover it now. Your hip dips are bone structure, which is bones are genetic. Some girls are just going to have really round hip dips and you're like, what the fuck, how do they? And then some girls are going to have the hollow look, which is the hip dip. Now, it's similar to when I was a 15-year-old boy, my chest went in heaps here. It looked a bit funny. I was a bit not conscious of it, but I was like aware of it. When I built my abs and my chest muscles up, you can't even tell anymore. It just looks really good. And that's the same kind of analogy I would use to hip dips. You're not changing your bone structure by training. You're not going to do it overnight. It's not going to be a 6-week, 8-week thing. You can definitely make subtle changes, but people who have like really noticeable hip dips, you can pose to make it look a little bit different. That's what most girls do in these before and after videos. But if you just build a fuckload of muscle in your glutes, you work on your glute max, so your normal exercises, your RDLs, your Bulgarians, your split squats, your squats, your hip thrusts, like build your glute max up. And then you do your side glute exercises, which is your cable abduction, seated abduction, any of those side glute exercises. You're going to give the illusion and you're going to build fat and muscle over that area. And it's going to give you illusion that you don't have hip dips anymore. And posing makes a difference. But yeah. All right, next one. All right, what are the biggest hurdles that your clients don't succeed with your program? Maybe you could answer this because you've always had access to our incredible nutrition team and our incredible programs, but there's been times in your life where like we've started an 8-week challenge before and at like week 3, you're like, I'm not making any results. Why does that happen?
Consistency. Yeah, I've done the yo-yo thing quite a few times. For me, it comes down to consistency and having a really good nutrition program that's easy to follow, that isn't too restrictive. I feel like that's one thing for me. Like if it's too restrictive, like I'll go the other end and binge. So I feel like that's really important.
What about just like your current like work ethic at the time? Like, for example, the only reason clients wouldn't get results if they followed a good program like our program and our personalized meal plans is one, they just don't show up for the workouts. They don't put effort into trying to make the meals. And 2, they just have really low work ethic and like they don't value. For example, I'll explain it this way. We used to do programs and meal plans for cheaper than what we do now. not just because of inflation or whatever, but just because of when I first started, I was like, I didn't value myself as much. Like I've always been a great personal trainer, but I'm like, I'm new to online coaching. This is many years ago. And what I've found is as our prices have increased, our clients have got better results because there's more value in it for them. There's more commitment.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who's signing up, like, don't just sign up to the cheapest thing you can find. Sign up to something that like takes a little hit on your little bank statement, because then you're like, I'm going to follow that program. I'm going to follow that meal plan. Like, I'm not going to let myself down like I have X, Y, and Z the past few months. So yeah, I think it can be slower if you have not so good genetics, or if you struggle with, you know, eating disorders or overeating, or like if you have trauma. Like, of course we can go into detail. It can be slower, but there's no one that can't get results. No matter what condition, PCOS, all this, people always throw this stuff out. Trust me, if you eat more of the right food and you train consistently, you will always be better. Just don't compare your results to like the amazing results that you see on someone's Instagram or some girl online. I think it's better to just you versus you. That's why we always ask to take before photos. Like, get your before photos, get progress photos every week or every month, whatever you're comfortable with. And if you look at them closely, you're like, I'm either getting results because I'm doing everything, or I could be a bit better with my nutrition or a bit better with my programming.
Yep.
How did you guys meet? This is a funny one, eh?
I think we kind of always knew, like we went to the same high school. So Jackson was the popular guy.
No, I wasn't.
And you were in like the popular group.
I don't know. I just wasn't like overweight. I was like a sporty kid.
Yeah. But we had never talked, but we have known of each other. And then I turned 18 and we kind of met out, I guess.
Yeah. I'll tell you the real one. So I might have sat with some cooler kids, but definitely wasn't popular. Anyone can comment and agree with this. If you've ever seen photos of me and Ellesha in the first few years we were dating, I was like full blown fucking the guy off that TV. What's that? Everyone said I look like the guy off the TV series. That I was ugly. I was proper ugly. I was skinny, single mom, no money. Like, I had no like cool financial backed. I didn't have any like awesome career. I was doing nothing at that stage. But interestingly, the people that we were dating at the time, that was a bit before we like proper spoke and hung out. Ellesha's partner when she was in like year 12 or 18 or whatever, and my partner when I was like 18, 19, they cheated on us with each other.
With themselves.
Does that make sense? And it was a talking point for us. But I always thought Ellesha was just like a straight up 10. She had the craziest legs, just like, it was just like, she was a sporty, like, you rode horses for like 10 years. You were like a freak horse rider. And then obviously you just when you became a teenager, you're like, I don't want to do any of that, and just stopped it all.
Yeah.
But she had like, you know, a bit of a sporty sense to her, and she was a little bit quiet at first, just like everyone thinks. But anyway, because of our exes had hooked up together while we were still with them, it was like a talking point. And then we started hanging out, and we were just friends for ages. But I had like the biggest crush on Ellesha. And then I suppose, yeah, we just ended up dating.
Yeah, found out we lived 5 minutes down the road from each other.
Not even 5 minutes.
Yeah, like
one straight up. Yeah,
and,
I just laughed her into the bedroom.
We loved watching Jersey Shore.
So
if you know, you know.
Yeah, it's like kind of like not 90s kids, but fuck, that's a throwback. But yeah, there's more to that story, but that's enough there.
Yeah.
All right. What is the best exercise to grow glutes, or your top 3? I'll cover this, and I'm really strong on this. Everybody's going to have a different reaction to their best 3 or whatever, but I've trained 2,000-3,000 clients over the last 10, 11 years, face to face, like new clients every month or week. And I'd have clients for 12 to 15 weeks or 6 months, and I could trial things. So I've got a lot of experience in this. And I think that's most important. On paper, you can say hip thrust. On paper, you can say this, but putting the glutes into a stretch position is one of the most scientific and, you know, my experience, fastest way to grow your glutes. So a good quality Romanian deadlift, you know, which is a hinging type based movement. I love to throw in, the reason why I love to throw in hip thrust or a version of a hip thrust could be single leg, 2-leg, floor, like a hip thrust from the floor, which is like a glute bridge. Any version of a hip thrust where you're putting the glutes into a shortened position. The reason is you recover really quickly through that. Any of the exercises where you put the glutes into a lengthening position, it actually damages or breaks down the fibers in the glutes, and it takes ages to recover from that. That's why you get DOMS, like soreness. DOMS stands for delayed onset muscle soreness. So that's that soreness you get. You won't get as sore from doing hip thrusts, so you can smash them out pretty heavy a few times a week. So RDL, hip thrust, and my number one actually is like a Bulgarian or a split squat. My number one right now, which I keep coming back to, which I think is absolutely fucking fantastic, is a split squat on a Smith machine. Because if you have the right setup and you have the right coaching, you can get on there as a beginner and use very lightweight and load it early on and really get the glutes sore. And then you can progress by putting 2.5s and 5s on, but you're stable the whole time. I really like those three. What are your top three?
Actually, in the new program, the Bulgarian split squat Smith machine.
Yeah.
So on the Smith machine, set up a bench.
Also Bulgarians on the Smith.
Yeah, that's been killing my glutes. Like when I did that, 5 days it took me to get over the soreness. It was so good.
I remember you telling me about it because you're complaining about it all the time.
Every day.
But it was like a positive complaint.
Yeah.
People who go to the gym are funny. They do a hard session. They complain about how sore they are for 4 days. But if they're not sore, they complain that they didn't get sore. Do you recommend fat burners to help with shredding if I'm menopausal? I want you to answer this.
No.
Fat burners are bullshit.
Yeah.
Fat burners are marketing gimmick.
Like, what is it? Is it just caffeine?
It's just caffeine.
So
and they have
a coffee.
They have some other ingredients that, in like a study on rats, it's like 0.1% or 1 to 2% help with like bullshit like metabolism. But let's be honest, you can take all the fat burners in the world, like the old, back in the day it was like C4 and all these like, what is that fucking marketing brand? Not Shreds. EHP had like a fat burner and everyone would take it and everyone was like, use my discount code and everything. And I just kept yelling out from the fucking top of my voice, calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Like if you're going over your calories by like 500 calories and then you have a fat burner, you're not going to lose any fat. So the education is not there, the marketing, and let's be honest, there's not much money to be made on good quality supplements like creatine. So when you sell a fat burner, you can put filler in it and you can make it really expensive. And if you make the packet pink, you say it's for girls, you can double the price again. So it's all marketing. It's all marketing.
All marketing.
I love a good like super greens, like an AG1 greens, but it's so expensive. But obviously I value that. But a lot of our nutrients just come from good food and sleep. Like if you just focus on your sleep a little bit more, you would burn way more body fat than taking a fat burner.
Yeah. Sleep is the key for recovery.
All right. Next one. When will you guys be having babies? Any more dogs you want to get, and will you move?
I don't see myself moving.
No, I don't.
I'm a homebody. I love the coast.
No, I don't know if they mean moving. Maybe they meant like, everyone thinks you got to upgrade a house when you make more money, but we just finished building it not that long ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, it might not be the biggest house. It might not be the fanciest spot. We're not on the beach. We're not that rich. And maybe if I sold everything and got a massive loan, I could actually upgrade to a house at the beach. But it's not
how about the neighbours then?
Yeah, we're scared. We have this. I'll tell you this story. We used to live in a townhouse, and obviously everyone knows the townhouse. If you're listening from America, like basically it's like where the walls are connected. It's like apartments, but like bigger apartments. But you can hear people in the kitchen in
it's like join
the house beside you. And in Australia, we don't like that. But most importantly, we had neighbors that were like young guys, and they had like a stereo sound system. Like, dude, just use a fucking little speaker. Like, what are you doing? They had like a stereo sound system, and they had like speakers and subwoofers, and they would get on speed and MDMA, and they'd fucking oof from like Wednesday to Sunday. They'd make all this noise. And
we couldn't sleep.
It literally ruined us. And that was at that point I was talking about earlier in the podcast, where we were like struggling in our relationship a little bit because we were working so hard. We bought the land and we're trying to build the house. and we're all having troubles in our relationships because we weren't sleeping enough, and like the amount of times I went over there to speak to them, but I'm just like, I was a young idiot sometime as well.
Yeah.
And they would always say, sorry, I'm not going to do it again. And then they would do it again. But let's get back to the question. We don't want to move from where we are.
No.
We love that we've got the country on the back, but we're not too far away from the beach. We have amazing neighbours.
They all have kids, which is great because, kids
goes
are loud, but they go to sleep.
They go to bed early. Like, we don't care how loud anyone is before 8 p.m. And obviously we don't own the fucking estate. But what I'm saying is, like, it's just respect. I believe if someone's being loud, like past like 9 or 10 p.m., it's just like, fucking hell, like you need to respect people around you. Let's go back to, you dodged the most important one. When will you guys have babies? Where we go back and forth with this all the time. Because our good friends are like all having babies right now. Not all, but you know how a few friends have babies and you're like, oh my God, everyone's having babies. And I'm 32, you're 31.
Yeah.
And people always, when are you going to have babies? And I get it, they're just being positive. But we just got our dog like a year and a half ago, Honey, and we're just obsessed with her, and our business is growing. We're really busy. And of course, babies will be something that's going to be coming on soon. And we're kind of like letting things happen naturally, but we're just not fully focused on that. And one thing we had a really good talk like 2 years ago, and we're like, hey, does one of us in the relationship, are we that obsessed with a kid that if one of us couldn't have a baby, would we break up with each other? And we made a decision that if we can't have a baby, we're not going to like let that ruin the love that we have for each other. We'll like buy 6 dogs, adopt a baby or whatever.
I'm more than okay with that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Ellesha's.
I don't know if I've ever been like fully maternal, but then I am with Honey. I love dogs. So
everyone who I say this to, like my mum, our good friends that have kids are like, oh, Ellesha will be the best mum because just you're a homebody. When we got Honey, you were just obsessed and you just like look after her and do everything with her. So
yeah.
Any more dogs? I'm saying no to that. Ellesha's tried to hint it a few times.
I've wanted another dog, but then when I thought about it more, Honey's just full on. Like she gets very jealous of other dogs. So I feel like for now, one's good.
Just trying to focus on what we have. I want to try and just make sure our mental health's good and if it happens, it happens. But I want to spend more time with our friends and their babies and their kids and their dogs and bring our dog. Like, you know, you don't have to always buy more and add more to your life. Some of the most happiest moments is when you start connecting with the people around you and the social, you know, like the families around you as well. Like people have all these babies and then don't see their parents that sacrifice so much for them. And it's like, I get it. If you're having a baby, that's fine. But I just want to make sure that all the other boxes are ticked first.
Yeah.
Progress photos, question mark. Oh, wait up, let's go back. How fast can someone with a flat butt grow it? And if genetics is not on my side? So I can answer this because, you know, 70 or 80% of our clients don't have good genetics. That's why they're actually hiring someone and they've tried different coaches. The easiest answer is the worse your genetics are, most likely it's your commitment and your work ethic that's actually more important. Like genetics is not, it's definitely a portion of it, but you just see the girls with the best genetics in the world that are on your For You page on Instagram or TikTok coming up. But the thing is, if you're making a little bit of progress for yourself every week, just a small amount, it's barely noticeable. It's really hard to see. But I see it and I understand because if the strength's going up, the happiness is going up, you're more organized, you're getting better sleep, I just know the progress is going to happen. You know, I see it before our clients see it. And the best answer for that is it depends how consistent you are. Let's say that you're about 70-30. Similar to like Ellesha, she like 70% all like hard work and dedicated, and then 30% buenos on the couch and chocolates and going out and hanging out. Like, so she's 70-30. If you're 70-30, I would say give yourself 6 to 8 months to get really good glutes from no ass at all. But in saying that, it can be done in 8 to 10 weeks. Not world-class ass from no ass, but you can. People around you will start going, oh my God, your body looks amazing. Because it's kind of an illusion. If you lose body fat from your waist and you grow your glutes at the same time, which is 100% possible, we do it all the time, everyone starts going, wow, you look incredible. But the glutes might only be a few centimeters further back. But it's because you've also sorted out your diet and you started doing more cardio and you're getting out in the sun and you're doing all these things. So
less inflammation.
Less inflammation, good gut health. What do you think about alcohol and fitness as a woman? You can answer this.
Well, I don't really drink.
It doesn't go well with you, eh?
Yeah, like for me, it doesn't agree with me. But I feel like drinking alcohol, you have to be aware of the sugars and the calories in that as well. Like if you are going to do that, you would choose a more healthier choice.
Even straight alcohol has calories as well. And the most important thing for me is it's not so much obviously you can get a lot of calories from alcohol, but I'm quite lean. I could get away with the calories. I don't eat healthy because I want to get leaner. People keep thinking that. People around me are like, oh, you're in really good shape. Like, why are you so particular with what you eat? I'm like, because I want to feel good. I want to live long. I want to be a good father one day, or I want to be a good husband right now. I want to be good for my clients, and I get gut health problems. I don't want to be farting and fucking low energy because I decided to eat something that didn't go well with my stomach. And for me, alcohol, it really derails and slows down progress. I would say alcohol is like, if you're young, you can get away with it. Most people can get away with it. Like if you're under like 25, you're going to want to drink, you're going to go to Europe, you're going to fucking do festivals, whatever, you're going to do all these things. And also having 1 or 2 drinks with your friends as a social thing is like pretty healthy. Like as in like the social environment for you to get out of your house and do that. And some people like alcohol. Like I've got a few friends that are like really quiet when they have alcohol. They're so fun. But you want to just try and find your own version of that. I just think that alcohol and fitness as a woman, like it's going to really slow down your progress. The most important thing is going to affect your sleep. It's going to really fuck up your sleep. Even if you think you're sleeping, you're not in a good sleeping pattern. Like you're not getting into your REM sleep and stuff like that. To add some strength to my arms and legs, thanks guys. Super simple. Get good at Bulgarians. It's one of the craziest, most humbling exercise when you first do it. Get good at like a hinging movement and a knee and a hip bending movement like a Bulgarian, and an RDL, maybe some body weight squats. And then as for strength for arms, like you can't beat pull-ups. I remember the first day you did like a body weight pull-up at the park, or like you're like, wow, like I'm so strong.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling. Something empowering about a pull-up. I don't know.
One thing that made me realize that I would love to really focus on coaching females and empowering females in the strength and fitness space is when my personal training clients would get their first like 1 rep pull up, or they'd do their first full push up on their toes or their knees or whatever, it would be a game. Their face would light up. So their body hadn't changed straight away, but their strength is better, they're way stronger, and their mentality and their personality just switched. They were just like confident. Like they were just the it girl straight up. And I'm like, that's amazing. If I can get girls, I think that happens before the body transformation.
Yeah.
So if you can pull-ups, push-ups, or dumbbell press, or whatever you want to call it. But for girls, I think there's nothing better than working on that back and the posture.
Bikini back.
Working on the pull-ups. And if you can't do pull-ups straight away, body weight, of course you're not going to be able to. Like you can't compare yourself to guys or some chick who's online posting them because she's got a freak pull-up. Some people are just different. Girls have more of a pear body shape. That's why they look beautiful with curves, but it's going to make pull-ups harder. Guys are more like, wide shoulders and then skinnier lower bodies. That's just normal. So focus on getting good at single arm rows and using machines like a seated row, like work on your posture. And then you can do assisted pull-ups with a band or like assisted pull-up machine. And yeah, lower body then I think upper body is actually way easier to train than lower body. I know girls are intimidated about it.
Yeah, lately I've been enjoying training upper body more than lower body.
It's just simple. I think you've just gone around the spectrum of like enjoyability of exercises.
Yeah.
Would you have plans for people like me as well? I do Pilates and yoga, but I would like to start training. I suffer from endometriosis and I can't really follow intense, heavy workouts. This is a great question. It was split up into 2 question boxes. It's similar to what we talked about at the start. We've actually got programs that aren't crazy intense. This new one, like Booty by Jax 2.0 and the Booty Build Challenge, it's not a super hard program. Like you can make it hard. Like any program that looks easy on paper, you can make it hard by lifting really heavy. But like the way that we frame it on the app and the goals of how intense we want it to be, it's not that intense. We just want people to come in and just start moving and get good at movements to start with. you know, and just build the confidence. Like, get the technique first. And I think this lovely lady would really enjoy, like, we can definitely help her because, like, I love yoga and Pilates when it's done properly, not some stupid Instagram video of a chick who's like, get rid of this by doing this on the wall, like weird dances and stuff. Like, no, you have to eat well and you have to train properly.
Yeah.
And any movement is better than no movement, but people who just make these wild claims, I just like to just go, fuck that, you're stupid. But we can definitely help someone like this. What we do is you would choose the 3-day program on the BBJ 2.0 or the new glute build challenge. You do the 3-day program, and that way you can do yoga and Pilates on the other days.
Yeah.
And it's easy to follow as well. Okay. If you were to get another dog, which breed would it be and why? This is actually like one that we talk about more often than others.
Yours might be different to mine, I would say. But I reckon like either a cavoodle, because they're meant to be more chilled.
We can't have another.
I originally said Cocker Spaniel, but I was like, well, the hair sheds.
Our dog's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like she's
our
alluded
dog's got ADD. So I reckon like a cavoodle or like some sort of chill lap dog.
Yeah. I really like Ben and Lisa's dog, the Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a little Brad's dog. It looks like a little golden. But he's intense too. But I love it. I love it. Every time I'm getting angry at Honey because she's going psycho and doing her zoomies and just like annoying the shit out of us when we're trying to work, I always hug her and smile and go, like, she brings so much happiness to my life. I cannot explain it. And I reckon that's what kids would be like.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sleep when they're babies and it's tearing you apart, and then you give them a hug, and then like the feeling you get from the love, and you just want to do the best for them. Like, people who are buying Lamborghinis and crazy cars and Rolexes and stuff, like, if they, for me personally, if you're just to buy a little dog or, you know, have a baby, like, none of that means shit. Like, the happiness you're going to get from taking it outside yourself and the ego and putting it into love on another person is really cool. If it was like a dream dog, I'm obsessed with little baby staffies, but obviously everyone has like when a staffy is a puppy, it's so cute. And then they're like, okay, the bigger the dog, the more the responsibility. I always say that. So I would love like 3 or 4 different breeds. I just love all dogs. Best way to shred while keeping your booty and still growing it. I love this question. It's so easy for me it's what we do every single 8-week challenge, is what we do every month for our clients, for most clients, because people say all the time, it's impossible to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. It's like, no, if you're a very advanced lifter, you've gone through your newbie gains, and you're like really like you already look good and you're on that last little bit, then yes, you should focus on one or the other, like lose fat at one time, build muscle another time. But most people, 99.9% of people who sign up to our coaching are towards beginner or intermediate. And what they get is this amazing results from just eating real food and training consistently and properly. And they lose fat and build muscle so much quicker than what you think. If you're a beginner at the gym, you get to have these crazy good gains. Like, I remember the first 2 years I was training, I can't believe, like, I just kept getting stronger, kept getting leaner, kept building muscle. Like, people would look at me like, what the hell is this guy taking steroids or whatever? I was like, I was in my first 2 years, and I was actually eating food. I wasn't just running around drinking alcohol and eating 2-minute noodles in the morning. Like, I was actually eating, not even eating as good as I am now, but like I was actually eating food. So to answer it best, the best way to do it is have a good personalized meal plan, understand your calories and macros, like either have a good meal plan and just let the coach do it, or study your macros and micronutrients and your calories and be basically at maintenance calories. That way you can lose fat and build muscle because your body's not used to having such good nutritious food. If you're at maintenance calories but just like McDonald's and crap and packet food, then that's not going to work very well. But you do it with good food. And really focus. This is the most important bit, or one of the most important bits. Obviously, sleep. I could go on all day. It could be an hour podcast about this. But you want to focus on getting as strong as possible or maintaining as much strength as possible while losing fat. Because the stronger you are, or the more that you focus on your strength when you're training, the more that'll keep the muscle or grow the muscle. People think they go from doing a building phase and they go to a like losing body fat phase, and they start doing heaps of HIIT training and CrossFit and cardio and all this. I'm like, well, your muscle's just going to go, see you later, we don't need you anymore. So whatever helps you build muscle, you need to keep that in. And then you just change your diet around a little bit. So I hope that helps. What do you know about cellulite? And it seems the more I train, the more it appears. So let me give you the best way, after studying, the best way I can explain cellulite. So you've got like a soft skin or fat or whatever, and then cellulite is like a fishnet stockings over the top of it. And at first the fishnet stocking is on the outside and you can't really see it, it's under the skin. But when your body fat gets higher, it pushes against the fishnet stockings and it creates this cellulite and creates this dimples and these problems. And let me just say this, it's completely natural, it's completely normal. There is nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of girls that lean, that have really good glutes, that still have cellulite. Ellesha has some cellulite. It's something that when you sit down and lean over, I do as well, even though I've been quite lean most of my life. So there's nothing wrong with it, but you can reduce it. The best thing to reduce cellulite is to not let the body fat get that high to start with, but you can reduce it. If you reduce the body fat and increase the muscle mass, take photos in the shadows, not the bright lights, everything's going to look amazing. So you can reduce it. I hope that helps. Do you have clients in the UK? I want to join Ibiza in 4 weeks. I need an ass. That's like the best. You see how I said Ibiza correct? All my British followers will be like, this man knows this. I've never been. I get invited on a private boat to Ibiza, but I stay with my friend because I don't care about that life. I stay with my friend over in summer in Europe. Yeah, we have clients in the UK. And we have, actually it's the 3rd most popular following. So it's Australia number 1, USA, and then UK. So definitely we probably have,
I didn't know that.
That's probably our 3rd most popular client sign up. And we have a team we have a nutrition team based over in the UK that work on the hours that the New Zealand team aren't working. So we basically, any country you're in, if you can read English and speak a little bit of English, you can do the program, except people in the UAE or not the Muslim, some of the countries around the UAE and stuff, Iraq or whatever, some of those countries can't access our website or our app because it has the name Booty in it, and we have client transformations on our website with a girl in their bikini. So they're really I tried to get them to use a VPN block. I'd probably get like arrested or some SWAT team comes in their house. Too much ass, motherfuckers. Don't show your body. But yeah, that's the only countries that literally physically can't get in. And it's not just us. A lot of other people I've spoke to have the same problem. And then if you can't read English or speak English, I wouldn't recommend using your hard-earned money to sign up because you're not going to be able to understand. Like we have a lot of educational videos and exercise technique videos and workout programs, and you got to be able to like understand what we're writing. Starter tips. Starting last year with building my body, I was obese, lost 16 kilos already. I'll give a really good tip for these people in this section of their goals. Don't fucking rely on weight loss as in scale loss. What you should be focused on is not how much weight you can lose. Of course, if you're morbidly obese, if you're like massive, of course, like you want to get your weight down, of course. You want to put all that pressure on your knees and your lower back and your joints. But if you're just a little bit overweight, you have a bit of body fat, don't keep relying on the thing that I call the sad step, which is the scales. Because the scales don't tell you how much muscle you have. So if you want to keep losing weight, you'll end up having to just keep going lower in calories and you start losing more and more muscle, and then you just look skinny fat. You know what I mean? Like Ellesha has looked better at a slightly higher weight because she has built more muscle and the body fat's like around the same or a little bit less. Like your muscle, so for example, you can have like, imagine if my hand was round here, that'd be all body fat. Muscle weighs about the same when it's only this size because muscle is more dense. So it weighs more per like space, if that makes sense. So you can add muscle to your body and you look smaller and shredded and everything, and you can be heavier on the scales, but you can look better. So if I was this person and I was anyone in this situation, I would use photos, like use progress photos and look at yourself in the mirror. Don't be hard on yourself. Obviously, you're always going to like, oh my God, I've got a bit of roll here. I'm a fucking piece of shit. It's like, don't be like that. Take like an external approach and step out of the shame and the trauma and like, oh, I hate my body, whatever, and just go, have I made progression specifically when the weights on the scales is not going down, but I feel like I'm getting stronger and I feel good. I'm getting fitter. Like focus on your cardio and your health and your fitness. That's one thing we really made your physique go to the next level is I said, let's focus on your actual fitness because we're always judging on what we look like, you know?
Yeah.
Hope that helps. Would love for you guys to talk about weed and normalizing it some more. Well, we already kind of covered that.
We covered that, yeah.
So it's something that we can't talk about on TikTok, but for Instagram, it's like cannabis, and especially if it's medical cannabis or like you don't have any schizophrenia in your family. You know, I believe that this is the way to answer it. As casual as having a beer with your friends after work, if you go to Canada and some places in America and, you know, even Thailand now, that's how casual it is. You should not look down on someone if they're successful, they're organized, they're clean, and they decide that they'd rather have a joint or a cannabis vape, not like unhealthy cigarette vape, like a cannabis vape, instead of having a beer and just having a laugh with their friends and playing Uno or cards or having a chat. Like, it's so frowned upon and looked down on in certain situations, but I think it's an education problem because when I went to Canada, when they legalized it, holy shit, successful, like my manager over there was like,
everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy, like no fights. They're healthy too. A lot of people were quite healthy. Obviously, if you've got addiction problems and you can't clean your room and you can't get a job, then you can't be smoking bongs in your house all day. Like it's always extremes. It's like alcohol. It's like, I'm not a big fan of alcohol because my father was an alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. I won't go into it. And I think I have addiction in my family, but like, I'm okay. I just have like a little joint here and there on the weekend. I'm very successful. We've progressed our business, fucking like non-stop progressed our business. I'm a weird, super clean freak.
Yeah. Like
I make my bed every day. Like I'm a fucking successful man. Like, and I like everything organized a certain way. So yeah, it is already normal to us. And if people judge it, it's like, you know, just don't be an addict with anything. Same with sugar, same with caffeine. Like just don't go overboard with anything. And maybe don't be taking like acid or MDMA, like chilling out. It's like, you know, there's some things that you need to have, you need to have the right doctors with you for that stuff. Do we need to do 10,000 steps a day, even if we're trying to gain muscle only? So the person who invented the 10,000 steps a day, I listened to this on a podcast. I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always studying. Like I'm just passionate about it. But the person that came up with 10,000 steps a day, it was something to do with this podcast where he said that it was just a fucking rounded off number that was like kind of what they thought the primal people would do, like in the ancestral days. But there is no magic number. We tell clients to do 7,500 steps a day. We don't enforce it. We don't track it. Just for like health, for lower back issues, heart health, just getting up and moving around. You shouldn't be sitting for like 5 hours straight. You shouldn't be only doing like when Ellesha was only doing 1,000 steps a day, she was working absolute full time doing lashes. She just wouldn't get up. She was stressed. She was eating emotionally and she wasn't getting her steps up. Her shoulders, her posture was all fucked. One of her shoulders was further forward.
When I was walking, I would puff.
Yeah, she couldn't even walk up this tiny little sand,
like
incline.
Hill.
She'd be puffing. And I'd look at her and I'm like, I don't want to judge my wife, my partner, but bitch, that ain't healthy. Like you look healthy, but you know, and now she cruises up that hill easy and it's just small tweaks. So 10,000 steps a day is just like a cool number. Just try not to be less than like 5,000. And there's other ways you can skip if you're at home. Skipping is the hardest, craziest cardio. For me, I've been doing Muay Thai lately and the skipping at the start, I dread it. My little Thai coach is like 2 minutes and I can't get a full 2 minutes of skipping. I'll surf for an hour. I'll train for an hour and a half.
I don't know how you do it, eh? I can't even skip.
My little calves are like screaming out. Yeah, 10,000 steps a day, it's cool. You know, I had one client that would get like 25, 30,000 and would be proud of it all the time. And I'm like, that's cool. Like she would do it for mental health. She would just like really love the numbers. She was like
nurses.
Yeah, they get a lot.
Yeah.
Is it possible to learn to eat without counting calories? If so, how? Amazing. What a good question. So let's throw it back. I used to do bodybuilding prep, and it was all about like, I did 2.5 years. I never missed like more than 2 days on MyFitnessPal, like full. I don't know if that's an eating disorder, even though I was healthy about it, but like I was obsessed with counting my calories, like overly obsessed with counting my calories because I wanted to hit my macros, and I was a bodybuilder and I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder, and I was going to America to compete with the big boys. And
so you're doing the if it fits your macros?
Yeah, I was doing the if it fits your macros. Now, I don't believe that's the best way for most people. Right now, we basically don't count calories. No, not just basically. We do not count calories at all.
I believe though, if you're wanting to lose body fat at the start, like what I was doing, like counting it, and then from there you kind of get an idea. But even then, like...
So I would recommend everybody to take what they're currently eating and write it down in a notepad, and then chuck it into like MyFitnessPal or Calories Kings or whatever, and just figure out where you're at. Or if you don't want to get involved in that, hire someone online. Like, it's crazy. Like, I know we're talking about this and I'm not trying to sell what we do, but this person asked this, is it possible to learn to eat without counting calories? If so, how? Hire someone who does personalized meal plans. We give you the macros and the calories that you need, but we also give you the meal plan. So you can either use the macros and the calories, which are personalized, or you can just follow the simple meals. And I find that to be like so much healthier. Now, that doesn't cost that much either. It really doesn't cost that much. And most of our clients actually save money, including what they buy with food and paying for their coaching, because they're not wasting food and they're not spending money on crap, like expensive takeout. Like, it costs you like $60 to go out for, more than that to go out for dinner. It costs you like $40 to get breakfast and a coffee. Like, it's super expensive. So you're better off just like making food at home and just like knowing what you're eating. So yeah, you can learn to eat without, counting calories, and you just follow a meal plan. If not, you count calories once or twice a month just to see where you're at, and just try to keep what you're doing the same and make small adjustments. I wouldn't recommend doing what I did or getting obsessed with numbers, because that's how you create an eating disorder. Does smoking have an effect on muscle growth? I'm not sure if they mean tobacco or cannabis. I'd say that a lot of young people are vaping and it's tobacco, and that does actually, I read a study recently, a while ago, when it got really popular, because I was trying to motivate some of my younger clients, so I'd see them with their vapes and shit, and I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like, they're coming to their workouts and they're paying for PT sessions, but they got their vape in their jumper.
Even when I was doing lashes, like the amount of times they had that vape cough.
Yeah.
And you'd hear them like wheezing. I'm like, oh, it's not.
So yeah, the studies show that smoking, tobacco, cigarettes, vaping does have an effect on muscle growth, and actually slows down muscle growth, and it has more of a weight loss effect. If you're in a calorie deficit, because some people will smoke instead of eating, and the people that give up smoking, sometimes they start snacking. But I would literally, in my kindest way possible, highly recommend that you don't smoke cigarettes at a young age or an older age or anything, and that you don't vape, because it's so addictive and it's so hard to give up, and it's so bad for your body, and it's one of the leading causes of people dying and lung cancer and stuff. Just don't do it. How did you guys meet? For cannabis, well, I have read an awesome study on that. Mild use of cannabis, like Arnold, one of the best bodybuilders of all time, he'd have a little smoke here and there.
Really?
Yeah, his videos of him in California, smoking with like chicks on the beach and in his little budgies and stuff. Mild use of cannabis does not affect muscle growth, does not affect fat loss and stuff like that. Just cannabis by itself. Mild uses, which is, 1 joint a day or whatnot, like small amounts. Heavy use, some people have been fine with it, but it can really be hard to stick to your meal plan. It's really hard to like get super motivated, and you don't want to be smoking heaps before you go to sleep, because even though you feel like you're sleeping, you're not getting your full proper REM sleep. So you can kind of Google this and look into it more. How does Ellesha feel about you working with beautiful female clients?
I get this question so many times, and I don't know, like, it's not an issue for me. I think like I'm doing most of the messages anyway, so I see most of these transformations. And Jackson's been a personal trainer for how long?
Since
before we met.
Yeah, I was doing PT I was doing PT uncertified like 12 years ago before. We lived in a little country town and I was helping people do I used to be into martial arts and I'd held pads and stuff.
And we were talking about this the other day with like, for example, like surgeons, like how they feel.
Like breast implant surgeons are seeing tits every day.
It's what they see every day and it's their job and it's nothing more than that. So
I think it's really important that you have trust for each other.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much easier. Like when I was doing personal training and Ellesha was doing her work, her lash work, and then I started doing the online coaching and I'd be posting all these really good looking transformations and whatnot. I'm sure there were certain periods where she was a little bit like, oh, that chick, maybe she looks better than me. Like, maybe does Jackson find her attractive, or is it like men watching porn? Is it like, am I losing attraction in her because I'm seeing other pretty women? And it's like, well, what you're missing is the attraction and I love and the love that I have for Ellesha is deeper than looks. Like we have so much fun together. We connect on a crazy level.
Yeah.
Like we can just laugh for hours and I can be she's seen me at my fucking absolute worst and still loved me. So there's no one's going to ever touch that. But more importantly, this business is to make money, to support, our future family, to grow an empire, to help the clients. Like I don't see the clients like that. Even if I was single, I wouldn't see the clients like that. And if I ever had something going on with the client, I'd say to them, hey, I can't be coaching you. Because if that got out or whatever, it would be like bad quality. And it's like, I'm here to be good at my business. If I want to meet girls, I'd be on Tinder or whatever. I've never used any of those sites, but you know what I mean? So it helps a lot now that Ellesha's like 100% in the business, because all the videos that you see online, Ellesha's editing most of them.
I've seen them. Yep.
Yeah, like she's editing them. She's seen the bits where I'm like getting the cool angles, and people don't realize that when we're filming those videos with like Sophie and Anna, I'm just naming some of the ones that we've done programs with, any of the clients that are hanging out with me doing personal training sessions, Ellesha's usually with us or in the house or filming or is friends with them. So it's funny. It's like back in the day when you're at a party and someone takes a photo with the flash on and you're walking past a girl, but it looks like you're hanging out and someone's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's like there's no context. You have no idea what's going on. So
yeah,
we get it a lot. You know this is what I really realized. Women who are insecure, that don't trust their boyfriends, ask that question to you because if their partner was in the position, they wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
So they're putting their insecurities onto you to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
Whoops, I said it. You're a breath of fresh air. Love following your page. Not a question, but love it. Appreciate it. How custom are the meal plans to each person, lifestyle, diet, preferences? Amazing. So when I first started, before we had the app and everything, I was doing like Excel spreadsheets or Google Docs and just doing basic bodybuilding meal plans for my prep girls and my clients. And they weren't that personalized. Like I would obviously adjust the amount of calories and stuff, but they were like pretty boring. But skip forward 4.5, 5 years now, we have a full-time nutrition team that is amazing, like incredible. You can literally personalize it so much. Like it's wild. Like you can choose if you have a low budget, if you want a gourmet meal plan,
keto, vegan, vegetarian,
pescatarian, gluten-free.
Can add in all your allergies, anything you dislike.
You can literally, and then this is the craziest bit. This is the craziest bit of all. And I love that we have this, but I don't know how long we'll be able to keep it with the clients that are building. But you can get unlimited variations on your meal plan and keep emailing the nutrition team every 3 or 4 days to make adjustments until the plan looks perfect for you. Please don't do that for like a month straight, because we have a lot of clients, and if everyone did that, it's a lot of emails. But you can literally do that, and it doesn't cost anything more. You have a set weekly or monthly membership, whatever you sign up on, and you can just keep changing your meal plan, adjusting it. We even have some buttons on the app where you can change it using like an AI, which will give you we'll give you a different meal with the same calories in it.
Like a swap
option. And then you can add your takeout onto there as well. I won't go right into the app, but all your preferences, your diet. And we also take into account like what job you have, your activity level, your current body fat percentage, your height, your weight, body type, like the genetics kind of thing. And most importantly, your likes and dislikes. What do you think about the fat acceptance movement? Oh, got to be careful with what I say about this. Depends what you mean. So if you mean having those, so there's two different things. I've got people that I know, there's guys that I surf with and girls that'll be out in the surf or athletes or whatever that I've met that are way crazier athletes than me, that can surf better than me, or that can do Muay Thai better or sports or lift heavier weights in the gym than me, that aren't fully six pack like what I am. I'm not saying I'm shredded, but I'm like quite lean. So having a little bit of body fat is perfectly fine. If they're happy with it, if they can move well and all their blood results and their tests and their doctors are all sweet with it, that's fine. But when you have these plus size girls that are getting put on Gymshark's Instagram posts and getting put on the front of like fitness magazines, and when I say plus size, I'm talking XXL plus, where they're like morbidly obese, like they're literally either have diabetes or pre-diabetic or very close to having heart attacks and dying. Like, I've got no problem with the shape. If they're happy with that, that's their shape. The problem is if you could see the inside of their body, you would have the concerns that I have, because I understand the science. I understand the death rate. I listened to an awesome podcast yesterday about it's better to have this scientist guy, this doctor guy was like, I'd rather have HIV AIDS than to be a diabetic, because with HIV AIDS, you take a medicine, you can still live full longevity. With diabetic, the chances of dying earlier is way higher. You're on crazy medication. You're always trying to have a look at it. You're going to get limbs removed eventually, and the death rate is like, the longevity is much shorter. So yeah, I just think that it's not as positive as what people think. I think if you could see someone who was slightly bigger doing like athletic shit, like you watch some of the front rowers that play NRL and footy and stuff that have a bit more, like Latrell Mitchell. I don't know if anyone knows him, but he's an awesome footy player for Rabbitohs. He has like a bit of body fat around his stomach. He's not plus size, but he's a freak athlete. He would run rings around me. He's way fitter than me. Like, show people that aren't shredded doing cool shit, lifting heavy weights, but don't just have a photo of someone on a magazine or an Instagram post to help make your stuff go viral, because they know that they're triggering people to make the comments go crazy or make the website get more visits. I think it's a bit of it's unnecessary for the marketing company to rely on like this stuff. Do you do stuff for men, muscle building definition? Yes, we are coming out with, I'm focusing on like a really epic hybrid program for men. The funny thing is though, I would love to train more men, but we have 99% female following, and that's what we're mostly catered on. And we've found that the females need the most help, and they're also the clients that stay on the longest and the ones that can like really relate to what we put out there. So I don't want to split my niche up. You know, I used to train a lot more men in my 20s, but now I'm just focused on women. But I have a program coming soon, a hybrid program. We do meal plans for men and women. Our meal plans aren't like gender specific, like, you know, we just personalize and stuff what we do. So I got a really epic program coming soon. Another one about fat burners, we already covered that. How do I get motivation back? 22 kilos down, hard work, only a single mum, exhausted. I think this kind of wraps into the other one I wrote, which is like, stop focusing on your weight loss anymore. Like, you're already 22 kilos down from doing the hard work, and you're a single mum and you're exhausted. And my mum was a single mum, and she worked really hard and trained really hard, and, you know, all those type of things. Don't focus on the scales. Get your routine sorted. You know, let go of like the shame and feeling like you're always behind, and just focus on the things that you can control. And lots more positive reinforcements of how you're doing really good being a single mom, you've lost weight already, and celebrate the wins on the way. I think that's a good one. All right, last few. Are you coming out with a gym wear brand with like a little smile face, a little smirk face? We are working on something. It hasn't been finalized yet, but it's not going to be us just figuring out how to be like a really cool gym brand. We're actually working on collaborating with one of the best gym brands in Australia and doing like a Beauty by Jax and their brand, like kind of a collab to bring together like a personalized clothing kind of line. We can't talk about it too much because nothing's solid, signed, delivered yet, but it is coming. The thing that I've reminded our team and Ellesha and myself all the time, because I wish I had like a little supplement brand on the side, but it was like brain supplements and supplements for ADHD and supplements for like, you know, clean energy and whatever it is. But I could do a clothing brand and sell all this stuff, but I just want to be the best coach in Australia by far, one of the best coaches in the world that people just love and have amazing results. And I want to be really good at one thing to start with, and we're getting there. We are really good at it, but I want to be one of the best. And I think if you try to do everything, you'll be good at nothing. I find it hard to consume enough to grow. How do you combat bloating and digestive issues with eating lots?
Oh,
Do you want me to answer that?
yeah.
So if you're someone who's used to eating not much at all, and I think this Kate girl's asking, she finds herself getting really bloated and having digestive issues because she's gone from eating basically shit all to like eating a lot more. And I have this question from a few clients because they go from really under eating, and then we give them the right amount of food and they struggle to eat it and they feel like they're bloating all the time. Your body will adjust, your body will get used to it. Your stomach kind of like, not physically shrinks, but your stomach, your body and your psychology gets used to eating less. I mean, metabolism kind of gets less, and you get less muscle and you get really skinny. And then when you put in the nutrients that you need and the food that you need, which is quite large size in food, and you're eating like vegetables and meat and whatnot, your body can go, holy fuck, what's going on? I'm bloated, you know, maybe some farts or some digestive issues, but your body will actually get used to it. And maybe simplifying what you're eating and having a notepad and just kind of writing down how don't go too obsessed with it, because you're just going from kind of having eating disorder to being even more controlling. But don't eat random stuff all the time and trying to figure out what's affecting you. Just do the same thing for a few weeks and your body should get used to it and get better at it, like get better at digesting it. Train and walk a lot, like go for walks, train, drink lots of water, sleep good so your body gets used to it. And most people, 99% of people will just get used to it. You'll start building muscle, you look amazing, you'll feel 10 times better. What I really need to teach people is it's fucking absolutely normal after you eat a meal for your stomach to be bloated. Like, you've got food in your stomach. Like, you can't just always have like a tiny waist. You just finished eating food, depending on if you've got your period and what part of the cycle you're on with your period. Like, you might just be bloated. It's just normal. But it's not normal to be bloated and fighting all the time. So just make sure that you figure out if something's really fucking you up, to just minimize that type of food and add in something different, and just keep it simple as you progress through eating more food. Would love to hear about Ellesha's journey with her body image. If it's always been good. Good question.
Oh, I feel like when I first met you, I was actually underweight.
Yeah.
So when I met Jackson, I was 49 kilos at 19. So I was actually underweight then. My diet was terrible.
But you weren't underweight because you didn't eat anything. You were just like most young girls. You're just cruising around, drinking.
A lot of partying, dancing.
And also you were just quite skinny, like just normal. But yeah,
But no, I've always struggled with body image, I believe, and still to this day, it's still a struggle. But yeah.
Because I always upload really beautiful photos of you, and people love that. Like, the girls are like, I love seeing a husband or a boyfriend that like puts up hot bikini photos of their partner. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, most of our followers are females, like, and even if some guys see it, like, I don't care about that. But because I do upload nice photos of you and I think you look beautiful, I think some followers believe that like you just feel good all the time and you feel hot, but it's actually like she probably struggles a lot with body image. And I think most of it's actually a mental thing, just self-confidence, because the body's actually above average, like quite good physique. Even when you've got a bit more body fat on you, like most girls would fucking dream about that. Especially young girls who want more curves, but you're always gonna, like, when you look in the mirror, you look straight at the shit that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And when I see, I go, holy fuck, just as a whole package, it's amazing. You know what I mean? But
I think, we're obviously our biggest critics and we see things that I guess other people don't see. And obviously I'm not blaming it all on social media, but these days seeing videos of, you know, there was a girl I used to look up to all the time on Opoly, that's Sierra Sky, for years. And I only found out recently that she's got a BBL.
Yeah, because I did the video about her.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, her bum looks so good. Like, I was like, oh, I want her body. It's goals, goals, goals. And then
I think a lot of younger girls, or even older girls, or whatever you want to call old, like, you know, 30, 40, 20, 15, like, the social media algorithm shows us the most viral bodies.
Yeah.
Some of them are using Photoshop, some of them have surgery, or some of them are like the peak genetics, and when they just finished doing gymnastics for 10 years or athlete or whatever, and you think, compared to her perfect image that she puts up a photo, like that Sierra Sky, like the most crazy tiny waist and big round glutes, and you find out she was dating a guy who her father was a surgeon and she got implants or whatever, and you're looking at that and you're liking it, so they're showing you more stuff that looks like her and people that look like her, and then your whole feed is girls that are just perfection, tiny little waist, round fake boobs or perfect natural boobs, and like round, no hip dips, glutes, and tiny little skinny legs, no cellulite because everything's edited. So then no matter how good you look and no matter how well you're working on yourself, you're never going to compare to this person because they don't even look like that without surgery. So then it builds like 10 years of conditioning, like the Barbie dolls as well, like having little brats and Barbie dolls that look perfect. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's really hard. I think that's why we're very passionate about Beauty by Jax, you know, about the coaching business, because so many girls want help and need help. And that's why the reaction videos calling out girls that have BBLs, or calling out girls that are photoshopping, or calling out girls that just have like sharing like perfect images on the right perfect angle all the time, saying like, if you see them sitting down eating in their home, they look like nothing like this, and it makes people feel better. And I think it's just about being real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still every day, like not every day, but you're a lot more comfortable and confident in yourself now. But it's not just a physical change, it's more of a mental change, because you're putting the work in, you're eating quite well, you have more self-value.
Yeah.
And you're like busier.
Yeah.
Like you have more purpose. I think some girls can be spending too much time trying to figure out how they feel instead of just getting shit done.
Yeah, definitely. And just unfollowing anyone that makes you feel like shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's so true. All right. So we have more, but we'll kick it off there. I told you it'd be easy to get through an hour. If you took value from this and you enjoyed it, please, please, please. This is our first episode. Obviously, we're not going to have a massive listening base at the start, but if you want us to get back in here, the studio, and get this another episode going, share the episode onto your Instagram or wherever platform you use. Comment below what you liked about it, what you want to see more. If you have any questions for our Q&As or any subjects that you want us to talk about, please comment on the YouTube. The YouTube is Beauty by Jax. If you're not watching it from there, if you're watching it from Spotify, we don't really have a comment section on Spotify. So go over to the YouTube, please comment on there. And we just appreciate everyone so much. Like, we just appreciate this community. Obviously we built TikTok to like 800,000. We built Instagram to 100K. And now we want to build this podcast community. And this is more of a personal thing. This is more of like laid back, like get to know each other. Like it's different. It's like, and I want, you know, I do a lot of talking, but over
I was going to say, Jackson's really long-winded. I'm like,
yeah.
Got to wrap this up.
I know. But I think over time you'll see that I can sit back and Ellesha can take more control and answer a lot more things as well. So
yeah,
I appreciate everyone for watching. See you later.